Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very exciting American Cruise Lines webinar. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run about 40 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. The webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Caitlin O'D. Caitlin has been with American Cruise Lines for 6 years and has been the Business Development Coordinator for 4 years. She is based at the corporate headquarters in Connecticut. And with that, take it away, Caitlin.
Thank you so much, Anna, and thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. We have an exciting announcement about our Project Blue ships. We have a brand new class of ships joining the already robust fleet with American Cruise Lines. And these are a hybrid go-anywhere catamaran design. You can see that here. And these will be small enough to access previously inaccessible ports, shallow enough to navigate the intercoastal waterway in the southeast, and stable enough to accommodate waters in the Pacific Northwest and Alaska. They'll be 241 feet long and 56 feet wide with a passenger capacity of 109 people. A class of 12 ships are planned, and the first two will debut in 2023 on the East Coast. They are the American Eagle and the American Glory, and the American Eagle is already available to book, and we've already got some bookings on the American Eagle. So people are really excited about getting on board these brand new ships. This class of ships and their corresponding itineraries will blend the best qualities of expedition adventure, cruising with refinement, luxury, and land proximity of river cruising. Our unique swim platform, you can see right here, features kayaks and a tender for local exploration. The shallow draft of the vessel allows rare access into small ports and the ability to go anywhere, rivers, lakes, or oceans. The land will never be out of sight, so these ships are a practical and stylish alternative to ocean expeditions, allowing more time exploring in each port. The streamlined design and environmentally friendly technology will also make these the greenest small cruise ships in the US. So the design of this new class opens endless opportunity in the US market. At this time, we visit over 100 ports, but this is going to open 500 additional ports to us throughout the nation's lakes, rivers, and oceans. Project Blue ships will boast a go-anywhere agility, but will never cruise out of sight of land, combining the adventurous spirit and the accessibility of expedition-style explorations with the luxury and spacious comfort of the finest river cruising. Here's just a quick peek at the front of our vessel. Observation and sitting areas will be available at the bow, and we do our best to travel during daylight hours, so guests are always going to be able to enjoy spectacular views of passing scenery and one of many of our outdoor lounges. Here's one of our staterooms on board the vessel. All staterooms at the American Cruise Lines are exterior rooms with interior entrances, so no one has an interior stateroom. We don't have any inside staterooms. The private balcony staterooms will have floor-to-ceiling sliding glass doors providing expansive views, and all balconies are completely private. Nobody's milling around in front of your client's view. 85% of the staterooms on board the Eagle class ships will have those private balconies, and those without will have a large picture window. This is a quick look at one of our spacious grand suites. We also have single staterooms. Those singles are priced as single. Those are across all of our fleet of ships. So your passengers do not have to pay that single supplement rate to book a single, but you just have to plan as far in advance as possible, over a year for those singles, because they're very, very popular. We also have accessible staterooms, but my recommendation is you always want to speak to a cruise specialist, one of the folks in our reservations department, because they will have a better idea as to how to accommodate your client's specific mobility concerns. We do build these ships ourselves in our shipyard in Salisbury, Maryland. So we have built them to a more mature cruise clientele's kind of needs. At this point, post pandemic, as we're kind of opening back up, our clientele has opened up quite a bit. People who are, not looking to cruise in Europe anymore are looking to cruise for this on these itineraries. That being said, though, we did not anticipate this. So we did build these ships with a more mature cruise clientele in mind. So accessibility is a little bit different. It's a little bit better on board with us because we're, kind of taking that into consideration when we're building our ships. Typically, people don't need an accessible stateroom. So this is something to keep in mind. You do want to discuss this with the cruise specialist because they'll have the best information as to where your clients will be most comfortable. Here's our grand suite bathroom. So this is the style that the bathrooms will be in. And here you can see the stunning dining aboard. You can see it's very elegantly appointed. Studio Dado, the Miami-based firm responsible for the interior designs of our newest modern riverboats, have tailored an onboard atmosphere that will evoke a sense of pride and appreciation for U.S. history. America's new Go Anywhere ships will also feature 2 dining venues as well as room service, which is a rarity for small ships. So that second dining venue will be sort of for lighter fare, burgers, that kind of thing. We have a beautifully appointed bar area aboard these ships, which will be stocked with top shelf liquors. We always get questions about beverage packages. There's no need to purchase a beverage package with American Cruise Lines. Beverages are included, all beer, wine, cocktails, and champagne included in the price of the cruise. Our spacious and comfortable lounge space boasts expansive views of the surrounding scenery and will also be our stage for our guest lectures and evening entertainment. And those performances will be in an intimate lounge style, and they'll give your clients kind of the unique flavor of the region. We cruise in each region whenever it's comfortable to be there, so guests will be able to take in beautiful outdoor views of every region we're cruising. And here's a view from the top deck where you can see plenty of lounge space and a track for your guests to get their steps in. So before I wrap up with our Eagle class ships, I just wanted to show you a deck plan, and you can see the stateroom size here. The balcony staterooms are indicated with a little space on the outside of the room where sliding glass doors head out to the balcony. The large picture window staterooms on the main deck, you can see don't have that line indicator. And next to the main deck vestibule to the left of the elevators midship, there's a rectangular room where guests can do their laundry. And on the third deck, there's a fitness center and games room toward the stern as well. And finally, too, I just want to note this is consistent across all of our ships, and I will introduce you to the rest of our fleet momentarily. Our average stateroom size is 300 square feet. These people are going to be very, very comfortable, unusually large staterooms for such a small ship as well. So it's a great opportunity for that small passenger count and nice, comfortable rooms. Our American fleet, here we are. So, you're kind of see some consistencies throughout this presentation as you take a look at our fleet. With American Cruise Lines, as it says here, it's all about simple sophistication. We do want to bring a more sophisticated air to each port, but this is an American destination, so things are still quite laid back. We don't have any black tie affairs. There's no formal nights. On board, we typically call it kind of country club casual. So it is nice and relaxed. You're on vacation. You're learning and exploring in each port. When you come on board with us, we're taking care of everything for you. It's nice and relaxed, simple and sophisticated. Okay, so our small ship coastal cruisers are uniquely designed to navigate the inland coastal waterways on the east and west coast, and obviously the Constellation class of cruisers is no different. We have a total of 5 coastal cruisers: the American Constellation, built in 2017, and the American Constitution, built in 2018. Both have a passenger capacity of 170 passengers. The American Spirit, built in 2005, the American Star, built in 2007, and the American Independence, built in 2010, all have a passenger capacity of 100 passengers. So the Constellation and the Spirit both sail the Puget Sound and Alaskan itineraries, while the Star, Independence, and Constitution do our East Coast itineraries, sailing from New England to the Southeast. And this is kind of what we started out being known for, our 4 authentic paddle wheelers that cruise the Mississippi, Ohio, Tennessee, Columbia, and Snake Rivers. These are new build ships with the exception of the Queen of the West, which underwent a multi-million-dollar renovation in 2011. On the Mississippi River, we have 2 modern riverboats, the American Splendor and the American Heritage. They have a passenger capacity range of 105 to 185 people. The American Splendor was built in 2015 and the American Heritage in 2016. On the Columbia and Snake River, we have 2 paddle wheelers, the American West and the American Pride, which launched in 2012. And these authentic paddle wheelers will have large, spacious staterooms and many private balconies that are approximately 60 square feet. So nice and comfortable space on that balcony. That's pretty consistent across all of our fleet. And I do just want to quickly note, these ships are seeing a little bit of a facelift. So if you want to head to our website, you can take a look at some of the new designs for the interiors. Previous to this, they were kind of emphasizing the more Victorian feel. So we've merged the more modern themes with the Victorian feel. So it's not quite harkening back to, it's not, riverboat, so sort of no more of that velvet, that kind of thing. It's a little bit more updated, but it still has that kind of harkening back to an earlier time feel on board. It's really fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. Just pop on the website and click on the paddle wheelers. You can take a look at what they'll be looking like going into this year and next. So the modern riverboats were the first of their kind on U.S. rivers, and they'll have a unique design. The bow of the ship actually swings upwards, and a ramp will extend out that can be positioned in many different arrangements. And this is necessary where there are places on the Mississippi and Columbia River where there isn't a dock. There are some places where there's just a landing site. If you take a look at the paddle wheelers, it has this kind of extension here. This is the classical design of the paddle wheeler. So this is our answer to that. This bow will, you kind of can see the little seam on the front. It'll swing up, and kind of a walkway will come out of the ship, and then your clients can disembark with ease. They can accommodate 190 passengers and have elevator service to all decks, and all staterooms on board the modern riverboats have private balconies. There are no picture window staterooms on board the modern riverboats. That's going to differentiate between these classes, and the rest of the fleet. These are the only ones that have only private balconies. So the first of these ships is the American Song, which cruises on the Columbia and Snake River, along with the American Harmony, and the American Jazz, Melody, and Symphony will be scheduled to be sailing on the Mississippi River. The Serenade will be sailing next year, most likely on the Mississippi River. So I just want to kind of walk you through some of the pardon me, I just want to move this out of my way, some of the amenities available on board. So we do, of course, have full-size bathrooms. There are stand-up showers. We have twice daily stateroom service and elevator service to all decks, and sliding glass balcony doors like the one you can see on the left here. And these are, again, 300 square foot average for the staterooms on board. The balconies are, again, private, so nobody can walk in front of your client's view. And all ships will offer breakfast room service and onboard Wi-Fi. All of that will be included in the price of the cruise. Okay, so I want to go over our itineraries, but as I'm discussing the Project Blue Eagle class ships, I just want to take a look at this map. As of now, we're visiting 31 states with over 35 itineraries. We are looking to open this up, and this new class of ships will allow us to do this. It's a really exciting opportunity. As of now, we're just adding these ships to the existing itineraries, but we are going to be opening up many more ports. So kind of stay tuned. You'll be able to see us opening up. We're hoping eventually to end up in the lakes and more rivers in the U.S. So it's a really exciting time for us. So the islands and harbors of New England are among the most desired vacation retreats, from the quaint island villages of Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard to the rugged beauty of coastal Maine. We have created captivating northeastern itineraries, and we have distinctive 7-night itineraries in the region. The Maine coast and harbors is a round trip out of Maine, Portland, Maine. New England Islands is a round trip out of Providence, Rhode Island. The Cape Codder, one that's a little bit newer to our itineraries, is a round trip out of Boston. And the Hudson River Fall Foliage cruises are a round trip out of New York. As you can imagine, those New England cruises from the Maine coast to the Cape Codder will be taking place in summertime, and the Hudson River Fall Foliage cruises take place from the end of September into October. Finally, we also have the 10-night Grand New England Cruise, which is a round trip out of Boston, 10 nights and 11 days aboard the Constitution. And that's going to kind of go from all the way up to Maine through the Cape and Islands. So it's giving you a kind of a broad overview, a true kind of taste of the best of what New England has to offer. So I selected an excursion that's a little bit newer to us on the Maine Coast and Harbors itinerary, just to give you an idea as to what we'll be doing in Maine. This is the Maine Coast and Harbors Premium Puffin and Lighthouse tour. Guests will ride in a state-of-the-art catamaran into Frenchman Bay and the Gulf of Maine to see the most sought-after iconic symbols of Maine, puffins, and lighthouses. They'll see Petite Manon, Egg Rock, and Winter Harbor lighthouses while searching for puffins, razorbills, osprey, harbor porpoises, and eagles along the way. Really a must do on the Maine coast and harbors, and I believe also the Grand New England includes that excursion. Moving southeast, we offer a range of unique itineraries and some extraordinarily beautiful waterways. European explorers found sanctuary in the smooth and protected waterways of the Southeast centuries ago. Cruises in this region will visit the historic ports of call, architecturally significant homes, and charming seaside villages, and feature breathtaking views and abundant wildlife. We offer many different itineraries along the Southeast, including 7 and 10 night Chesapeake Bay round trips out of Baltimore. The 10 night is our American Revolution round trip out of Baltimore, and that one's really unique. It's going to visit DC. It's the only one that visits DC. We're going to be going in and around the Williamsburg, Jamestown, Yorktown, kind of the historic triangle. So a must for those history buffs. Really, really spectacular itinerary. That one actually has a holiday cruise, which will start before Christmas and end after New Year. So you'll celebrate both holidays on board with us. It's really spectacular, especially seeing that region decorated in Christmas finery. Our 7-night historic South and Golden Islands cruise out of Charleston, South Carolina, or Jacksonville, Florida. That's a one-way, and it is probably our most popular in the region, visiting such iconic destinations as Beaufort, Savannah, Charleston, in and around. A really spectacular itinerary. But one of my favorites in this region is the 7-night Great Rivers of Florida round trip out of Jacksonville. You can see the kind of horseshoe at the bottom of the map there. That's where we'll be cruising kind of up and down to St. Augustine and Palatka and back. And this is a really unique ecological area. Obviously, St. Augustine is beautiful, but one of my favorite things about this itinerary is with this small ship, how close we're able to get to these really unique ecological regions, even when we're just cruising from one destination to another. It's really spectacular. So on both the Historic South and Golden Islands cruise and the Great Rivers cruise, you can take this excursion. It's the guided kayaking experience. Guests will paddle Florida's black water, known for its highly reflective properties that enhance the already natural beauty of this creek. And they'll meander through this peaceful wooded environment and enjoy viewing various seasonal aquatic vegetation while keeping an eye out for birds and other native wildlife. And as a keepsake for your guests' time on the water, they'll receive a complimentary digital memory photo album. So I selected this specifically because I do want to kind of highlight that our clientele is changing. While we still are, for the most part, catering to a more mature cruise audience, we are finding that folks are looking to cruise with us in younger demographics. So for that reason, we've adjusted some of our excursions and have offered some more active options, as well as kind of more traditional tours in the ports. So this is one of them. And of course, we offer many fascinating itineraries along the Mississippi River from New Orleans all the way up to St. Paul. On the lower Mississippi, guests can explore enchanting ports, antebellum plantations, and Civil War battlefields. And the journey up the river features sprawling nature preserves, unique wildlife, and vivid American towns that will bring you back to an earlier time. Our shortest cruise is a 4-night Highlights of the Mississippi, which is a round trip out of New Orleans. We also offer a 7-night New Orleans round trip and a 7-night Lower Mississippi River cruise, which is a one-way from New Orleans to Memphis or the reverse. And these three are, our most popular. That region is the most popular to cruise on the Mississippi River, probably some of our most popular cruises across the board. Our Music Cities cruise is a one-way from Nashville to Memphis for 7 nights, traveling through the musical meccas of the country. A really exciting, newer itinerary with us. And for those looking to do the full river, they can take the complete Mississippi River cruise in the Grand Heartland. It takes us 21 nights to get up the river from New Orleans to St. Paul and 14 nights to go down. So those are those bucket list cruisers, people who have been kind of thinking about that forever. We do offer the full Mississippi River cruise, and it's a really spectacular experience. And we do have cruises. Oh, wait, before I move on, I just want to kind of highlight one of our featured excursions on the lower Mississippi River cruises. Guests will enjoy a narrated boat ride in Manchac Swamp, a privately owned wildlife refuge, in a comfortable covered boat with walking room and open viewing from any seat. Swamp creatures are unafraid and responsive to our captain's voice. In the safety and the comfort of the boat, guests will be able to get within feet of our jumping gators, and other animals will be able to be seen from the boat, including nutria, ibis, turtles, herons, raccoons, egrets, and much more. And of course, this is seasonal for the colder months. Alligators are hibernating, but still an exciting thing to take advantage of. So we also do cruise in the Tennessee and Ohio rivers. Clients can cruise the Tennessee Valley aboard our newest modern riverboat. So one way from Chattanooga to Nashville, 7 nights and 8 days. This journey includes the sounds of iconic music, the sights of the Civil War history, and the smells of whiskey and bourbon. Our Ohio River cruise is 10 nights, 11 days, and travels through America's heartland from St. Louis to Pittsburgh or the reverse. On the Old Glory Distilling Company Experience Premium Tour, guests can enjoy a tour and tasting at Old Glory Distilling Company, a small batch artisanal distillery with a focus on crafting premium Tennessee whiskey and bourbon, as well as a variety of other spirits, including moonshine, white rum, vodka, and gin. They'll meet the founder, who will give his personal insight into the history of the distillery as well as its operations. And of course, they'll be treated to a rum punch cocktail upon arrival. And they'll get a chance to take a part in a cocktail making contest with prizes for the winning team. And there will be time to visit the on-site gift shop where guests can indulge in bourbon pecans as they peruse the merchandise. The Pacific Northwest is renowned for its diverse ecosystems and wildlife. On the Columbia and Snake Rivers, we have 3 itineraries. The most popular is the 7-night Columbia and Snake River cruise, which is a one-way from Portland, Oregon to Clarkston, Washington. This itinerary takes you in both directions. You just want to make sure, you decide which is best for your client based on pre-cruise packages. There are some offerings there. Also, if you do have clients who would like to take a shorter cruise, we have a 4-night highlights of the Columbia River cruise, which is a round trip out of Portland, and our 10-night Northwest Pioneers cruise, which is essentially a longer version of the Columbia and Snake Rivers cruise. And it just gives your clients more time to explore in ports of call and a couple of additional ports of call as well, of course. And this, of course, is battling for most popular region. The Columbia and Snake River is very, very popular. Our small cruise ships operate 7-night and 10-night Puget Sound and San Juan Islands cruises, both magnificent voyages beginning and ending in Seattle and cruising through the San Juan Islands. Clients will experience picturesque historic seaside towns, partake in smoked salmon tasting, and witness native wildlife, including whales, eagles, and seals. Sequim is the capital of the lavender capital of North America. On the Lavender and Landmarks Premium Tour, guests will explore the B&B family lavender farm, wander the fragrant lavender fields, and witness the distilling and drying operations in the historic barn where both culinary and fragrant varieties are produced. At the Sequim Museum, guests will visit the Manus Mastodon exhibit, which displays the earliest evidence of a human settlement in North America, dating back over 13,000 years. They'll learn about how Olympic rower Joe Rance made Sequim famous in early 1900s when he and his team from the University of Washington had a gold medal performance at the 1936 German Olympic Games. Their experience has been recounted in the best-selling book, Boys in the Boat, so guests will be able to enjoy the museum's captivating display and a video recounting their tale. And finally, our Alaskan itineraries are a unique opportunity to experience the breathtaking scenery of Alaska with exclusive access made possible by our small ships. Our clients will admire the glacial beauty from their private balcony, learn about the Klondike Gold Rush, and witness abundant wildlife up close and personal on one of our many guided excursions. In Alaska, we offer a 7-night Southeast Alaska cruise and a 10-night Alaskan Explorer cruise, both of which are a round trip out of Juneau. On the Alaskan Inside Passage cruise, this one is a 14-night journey from Seattle to Juneau, or the reverse. So it's going to be taking place at the beginning of the end of the end of the season in Alaska, as it's a repositioning cruise. We'll be returning back to the Puget Sound and San Juan Islands at the end of it. The LeConte Glacier Flight Seeing Experience is a signature tour, which will have guests climbing aboard a de Havilland Beaver boat float plane and visit LeConte, Alaska's southernmost tidewater glacier. During the 45-minute flight, we'll zoom past our ship across Frederick Sound to LeConte Glacier Bay, passing beautiful blue icebergs, hanging glaciers, seals, and birds in the fjord along the way. And before I wrap up our itineraries, I always like to mention our themed cruises. And we have a wide variety of themed cruises across the regions as we sail. And these themes range in topic from historical, such as our Civil War themes, which are available on the Mississippi River and the Southeastern cruises, literary for our Mark Twain theme, which is available on the St. Louis to St. Paul one way, the Upper Mississippi River cruises, as it's visiting Hannibal, his hometown, and our culinary themes, which are really available across the board. Theme cruises are a great opportunity to cater to each of your clients' particular interests and are proven to create repeat clientele and referrals. They're especially helpful for forming groups with us, as it's easier to target a group with those specific interests. We find advisors have particular success reaching out to the wine clubs regarding our wine themed cruises on the Columbia River, for instance. I can't tell you enough how successful those programs have been. So if you do have any more questions regarding our groups department, please do head to our travel advisor portal. You can take a look at the information as to what constitutes a group, all of the questions with regards to groups. I'm happy to answer them after this presentation as well, but you can kind of get started with our groups coordinator, Sarah Smith, as well if you head to the portal. So I've mentioned the different kinds of the excursions a few times, so I just wanted to kind of walk you through what those meant. Featured excursions are complimentary and included in the price of the cruise. For our Mississippi River and Columbia and Snake River cruises, the excursions are going to be primarily featured excursions because we are docking or at a landing site where whatever site there is what we're there to do. Premium excursions are anywhere from $20 to $70 per person, and for the most part, those coastal cruises will mostly include premium excursions. There'll be a few featured excursions kind of smattered in there. But in the coastal region, say in Bar Harbor, Maine, or Anacortes, Washington, there is so much to do in these ports of call. People are really visiting to kind of stroll around in these little ports. They're looking to shop or go to galleries or grab a bite. They're really not looking to kind of explore these premium excursions. So these are going to be almost supplemental to the experience you can have in the ports. And so that really explains why there's a differential between, where the featured excursions are available and the premium are. And also I just wanted to add to the Mississippi River and the Columbia and Snake River, the Juneau departures will also have mostly featured excursions as well for the same reason. Signature excursions have limited availability, so as soon as your customer service representative lets you know that those excursions are ready to book, you want to get those signature excursions on as soon as possible. Something, as you might imagine, like the flight plane adventure I just mentioned, obviously has very limited availability, so you want to make sure to get on that as quickly as possible. And before I moved on from excursions, I just wanted to show you how we're transporting your clients on the river. So we have a small fleet of these coach tour buses for American Cruise Lines that'll just go, kind of in each region and take your clients to and fro. We're really excited about these coach tour buses. I think they've been with us for about, not counting when we weren't sailing in 2020, about 3 years or so. Okay, so before I wrap up, I just want to go through the amenities included with American Cruise Lines, kind of review and kind of repeat a few of the things that are included, just so we can make sure we have all the information you need. Gratuities are included in the price of the cruise, and I did mention top shelf cocktails are available at all times. There's no reason to purchase a beverage package because cocktails are available at all times, included in the price of the cruise. And a complimentary pre-cruise hotel stay will be included in Juneau departures, Mississippi River and Columbia and Snake River cruises only. There are premium packages available for purchase for some of the coastal cruises as well. So you want to speak to your cruise specialist if your clients would like to come in a day early and have a tour in the city. Of course, we do include onboard entertainment. So that onboard entertainment is going to board and disembark throughout the cruise. So they're not listening to the same person throughout. We really want to give your clients a true taste of the region in every way we possibly can. And one of the ways we do that is with our onboard entertainment. Obviously, on the Mississippi River is really where this shines. You know, we have really spectacular musical heritage there, and we are able to celebrate that throughout the cruise with this entertainment. Of course, we also do have our enrichment program with our guest lecturer, and those lecturers are going to be historians, authors, any kind of expert in each region. And they're going to, of course, give a daily lecture that will sort of tie together your client's experience in each port. They're also going to disembark with your clients and go through the ports to, kind of offer any additional insight. They'll go on excursions to offer additional insight if the tour guide is not able to answer questions. Sometimes they'll actually kind of take you out for a walk if there's some downtime. They're really kind of the glue that brings the whole experience together. They talk about everything from architecture to cuisine to the history to kind of the current culture. There's so much that they'll kind of bring to this cruise. And I think they are really, like I said, kind of the glue that brings everything together. So I did mention cocktails included in the price of the cruise. We always serve wine and beer at dinner, but again, if you want a scotch at dinner, you can certainly have that as well. And we do have open seated dining. So folks who are used to those large cruise ships will kind of balk at that. But if you're keeping in mind that there's only 190 people on board, if you're kind of standoffish, that would be a little strange with such a small passenger count. What we find one of the greatest aspects to having such a small passenger count is a sense of camaraderie aboard that kind of develops throughout the cruise. Everybody's going through, they're all like-minded travelers. Most of our clientele have cruised all over the world. They're coming home to kind of experience their home country. So they have a lot in common, and we find folks really enjoy that camaraderie. They enjoy kind of the laid back feeling of not having assigned seats, being able to join us at just during an open dining time as opposed to assigned dining time. That kind of relaxed feel is part of what makes this a really spectacular and unique experience. We actually find some of our guests will meet somebody on board and then start booking with them over and over again, like couples will start traveling together because they're meeting like-minded travelers. It's a really spectacular experience for them. And we do, of course, have onboard Wi-Fi where available. So all of this is included in the price of the cruise. So it's a little bit less than 40 minutes. I apologize if I sped too quickly through this information, but I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Perfect, thank you. And we do have a few questions coming in. I invite everybody to keep them coming. Our first question is from Sheila, who is wondering if American has a training academy for agents to learn more.
We sure do. So head to the Travel Advisor portal. There'll be a little tab once you get logged in that says training, and you can click on that. You'll find our training videos. It's a 6-video session. I cannot recommend it enough. I went through a lot of information. I know you'll be able to see the insides of the ship. You'll kind of be able to see everything contextualized via regions. You can see which ships are cruising in each region. It's really going to clarify everything. And once you become certified, right after you become certified, I'll be sending you a certificate and a little badge so you can put in your email signature or wherever that says you're a certified agent with American Cruise Lines. And then if you book after that, you get a $50 bonus commission, the instructions to do that on one new booking for being a certified advisor. So there's definitely reason to get certified with American Cruise Lines.
Okay, fantastic. Our next question is from Myra, who is wondering what time of year the cruise out of Baltimore happens.
So that's going to be the cruise out of Baltimore takes place on the ships that do the New England area. So it's going to be kind of in the shoulder seasons. They're going to be in like October later in the year. So, and then also spring. We're about to start cruising in that region, for instance. So it'd be like late March, April, and then picking it back up in October and November and December.
Okay, got it. Our next question is from Rebecca, who is wondering how we find out who our BDM is.
So if you head to the travel advisor portal, the BDMs will be listed right there and their contact information as well.
Okay, super easy. And it looks like this is our last question from Lisa, who is wondering what itinerary you would recommend for avid cruisers of the Caribbean and other parts of the world outside of America.
So we don't get a lot of folks who are cruising in the Caribbean on those like 2,000 plus passenger ships kind of coming over to us. The river cruise people love cruising with us. I think it's a very different experience. If people are expecting to be staying on the ship, I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know if that's really the target audience, but I would say the best start for anybody who's never cruised with us before is either the Columbia and Snake River or the lower Mississippi River cruises, because first of all of the excursions are included. You know, somebody who's used to cruising on those large ships will not be used to virtually everything being included in the price of the cruise. So that's an exciting, opportunity. They have the pre-cruise hotel stay, excursion at each port of call, and all the meals and everything they want on board included. So that's something that I would say there is a little bit of a learning curve. It's not that those folks don't cruise with us. It's a very different experience. So I would say getting them started on the Mississippi River or the Columbia and Snake River, where everything is included, is a fantastic idea. I just want to mention too, something I always forget, and I should mention it more often in presentations. When you cruise with us with American Cruise Lines for three cruises, your fourth cruise will include the premium excursions. So for that reason, you want to get your clients on 3 Mississippi River or Columbia and Snake River or Alaskan cruises, and then get them started on the rest of the itineraries. And you will be able to do that too. I don't see that many people only cruising with us once. We have a great onboard discount, so you can encourage them to do that. You'd be added automatically as a travel advisor. So please do kind of keep that in mind. But that's the answer to my question. I'd say lower Mississippi and Columbia and Snake River.
Okay, got it. And that is a fantastic perk.
Yeah.
And I think those are all of our questions. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And thank you, Caitlin, for all of that information.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.